What's going on, everybody? Hope you all are doing well. Started a few minutes early here. Hope I hit all the right buttons and switches to put this thing on autopilot. I'm going to say everybody can hear me without a problem because it looks like the mic is registering. But anyway, if wish I would have known earlier that Stacy wasn't going on, I didn't notice her post until a little over an hour ago, and I was just in the middle of a few things. So if I would have known that, I would have popped on maybe at 3 today or something like that, and just filled in a little bit of that spot for people to give them something to just play in the background while you get your supper going or do some chores or whatever it is. But first things first, decided I'm going to put a little Glen Glassall Portsnoy in the glass to get things started today while people get together in here and get situated. Don't don't want to let any of that go to waste unless it's my waste. Anyway, tell you what, this bottle of the Glen Glassall Portsnoy has opened up very well. It is a really nice peated whiskey coming in at 49.1 ABV. And for $65, $70 per bottle right now, it's a good deal. And just so you know, if you see it and you're interested in getting it, you better pick it up because unfortunately, this distillery is going back into mothballs for a bit. I know, damn thing just opened up, got rebranded, spent millions of dollars on it, and it's going. It's one of the Brown Foreman things, people. Nothing we can do. But remember, they also were Glen Glassall had Whiskey of the Year in the Sands End. So this Sands End 12-year, about the same price, give or take, depending on where you are. I would definitely tell you to pick some of those up while you can if you are into that. It is really great. And if you saw the review I did on this, it is probably just a punch above Highland Park level peat. So those of you that are into that, it's nice. It has a beautiful golden color on it. It's a nice whiskey. I was sipping on this last night. Yeah, sipped on this last night. Also had a little Lafroig Elements on Saturday, the 1.0. Finished a sample off from that from Mr. Gunderson. And then before that, the Talisker port finish from Mr. Gunderson. So finished those off last night while I was just sitting and relaxing, not doing much of anything. But yeah, there's some people on here early, Mr. Morgan. Always glad to see you and have you here as always. Against my odds, I know you're lurking in the background, but thank you and really enjoyed listening to that musical introduction for Independent Joe. I've heard it, but I didn't pay attention to it and didn't connect the dots until last week when you said something. So went over there and made sure that I listened to that, and I like it. Great work. Great work, sir. Let's see here. Now I know there's a couple because I was chatting with James and them. I seen Josh in there. Yes, I did. Hope you are doing well, sir. Thank you very much. Who else is here? Yep, I seen Josh. Why is this being obstinate? There we go. Maybe it helps if I actually touch the correct spot on the mouse pad. Hey, here we go. Come on, here we go. Douglas Papa, cheers, man. Thank you for popping in here saying hello, Top Dog. I knew you'd be around somewhere. I caught you out of the corner of my eye coming over here. Thank you very much. And then here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, the benefactor of this stream with the Octomore 14.1, Mr. Whiskey Knows himself, who drove out here Dropped this off at my doorstep a little while back. Very, very happy to get this. So this is courtesy of Marty himself. And since I got that taste of the 13.2, whoops, sorry. No, nothing actually broke. It was just my Glen topper from Top Dog that knocked off my Glen. But the 13.2 is right here, which I don't know what I wasn't thinking of. I should have started with this, then to the 14.1, but that's okay. That's all right. But this was a few weeks before this from great granddad Greg, who sent us all this blind. So me, Marty, Mark, aka Mr. Great Shot, and we got to taste some fabulous whiskey. And that was the first Octomore I got to try. And well, that kind of set the hook on me here and started me down that wormhole of Octomore. Oh, here we go. I knew I was going to say, I thought I saw Bourbon School. I just didn't scroll down far enough. Cheers, sir. Appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Always great to see you. And of course, JD himself. That's funny. I almost was going to call you today, but I just got a little tied up. Nothing important, but just got a little tied up. But I knew if I put something on that mentioned peat, there you go. Because when I was talking about it last week, guess who showed up from down under? You know it. Yep. Here we go. Mr. Mom, cheers. Great to have you, Paul. Thank you for popping in. And of course, I knew I seen Eric. I just went too far down too fast. Cheers, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Always great to have Eric here. And like I told everybody, the benefactor of my nightly drams last night was Mr. Gunderson himself, with the rest of the Talisker in the port finish and the rest of my Laphroaig elements. God, that was good. Actually, in the right order, the port cask and then the Laphroaig. Really good. Oh my gosh, here we go. Well, that's true, but it's usually the orderlies telling you to stop looking in the ladies' restroom down there at the home. I'm sure. But cheers. Yes, I was talking about the 13.2 that you dropped off a little bit ago here at the house, which is leading me into the 14.1 that Marty dropped off a few weeks ago. And I originally was going to do this last month, but some things come up and I had to redo some stuff that I was originally thinking. But Glenglassalt Portsnoy in the glass here right now to get started. Cheers, everybody. Appreciate you. Thank you for stopping in, smashing that like button, saying hello in chat. It's always great to have you here. I appreciate it. Honestly, this really is one of those that if somebody likes scotch but wants to, get a couple of toes into peat, I think they could do this. I do. It really doesn't have that medicinal peat to it. I mean, maybe just a touch, but no, nothing that I ever feels off-putting. It's really pear, it's vanilla caramel, almost like a vanilla cake on the palate with that heather on there. And the nose is sweetbread, just like it normally is. You got to sniff, the peat's there, but it's not an in-your-face peat. So I think this is a great buy and a great whiskey for the money. And it's just a shame that they're going to mothball it for a bit. It's just a shame. I mean, truthfully, it's one of those ones that if you see it on the shelf, you got to grab it. And you're going to tell people about it? Really? Why don't you just tell them you drink red, in the closet? Come on. Oh, look at this. Hold on, hold on, hold on. There he goes. There he goes. Well, if anybody would know, Mark, it's definitely going to be him. That is for darn sure, without a doubt. It would be him. Hold on here. Let me look at something to see what's what here. Oh my goodness, what's happening here? Okay, here we go. Sorry. Got something popped up out of the blue and I was like, "Uh-oh, don't tell me I forgot to do something." I didn't. I didn't. We're all good. Yeah, that's not a way to get into scotch. It is definitely not a way to get into scotch. That's for sure. Now, if you want to try some good Johnny Walker, which it'll be like finding hen's teeth, is their what they call it the celebratory blend. Um, for a while there, I did see it floating around, and I should have bought it, but I was just picking up other things that I wanted because I always had a place and could find it. Well, let me tell you, I'm sorry, but I'll show it to Top Dog here because it's right here. Uh, this is this here, Top Dog, is the celebratory blend by Johnny Walker. And this would be something that you kind of got to be on the hunt for if you find it floating around. But this, yeah, if you find one and there's one behind it, buy two. Just buy two if it's there because it's just not hanging around out there anymore. But this really, truthfully is a great scotch. Let me just pop this open real quick. Yeah, this is a good scotch for the money. So if you can find it, there's always one on the shelf somewhere. About a C note, depending, but it's worth it. So I do have Johnny Walker. I do have it. This and the 15 I have. Very good whiskeys. Very good whiskeys, that's for sure. Oh my gosh, hold on here. Hey, Tony. Cheers, sir. Haven't seen you in a minute. Great to have you around, sir. Thank you for popping in and saying hello. Here we go. Here we go, Jonathan. Cheers, man. Appreciate you being here. And I'm going to say this. Don't worry about that whiskey. It'll be fine. Color does not mean one thing. And for what you paid for it, my gosh, if it's still there, you should get me one. That's for darn sure because it's definitely worth that all day long. Oh, look at this. There we go. The man, the myth, the legend, all the way from France. Greg's Whiskey Guide. Cheers, sir. Saw that video you put out today. That is in my queue to sit back and watch. You were on for, I think it was about an hour. If I'm not mistaken, you had two up, but you had probably three or four on the table because I saw like a 30 or 60-second clip that runs on my YouTube on there. But interesting, that's for sure. If people here don't know Greg, he is one heck of an authority on Scotch. He's over there in France. Make sure you guys go and look up Greg's Whiskey Guide on YouTube. Give him a sub. Great reviews. He does both English and French. If you want to practice your French, he's got them. Get there and watch them. But honestly, he has some good reviews and they're honest. He tastes a lot of whiskey and he doesn't pull punches. He's going to tell you good, bad, and different. And what's bad about it for us, some of the great stuff he has or he can get to try, we don't have here. So we have to use some of our overseas resources to get that. So anyway, yeah, you guys have got to make sure you go there and check him out. Oh, thank you, Eric. Perfect. There you go. Greg's whiskey guide right there. You cannot beat that stream. You can't beat his reviews. See, there you go. I knew that it's about an hour. I wasn't sure, but I said it was on there. I'm like, oh yes, 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 yes. And that is a good distillery. I don't see that here, but believe me, it absolutely uh, intrigues me. The truth is the truth, Greg. The truth is the truth, brother. I'm glad to have you here and glad to say I know you. Cheers. Little Glen Glassalt, Portsnoy in the glass, if you didn't hear earlier, Greg. Cheers, sir. Mm. Oh man, great whiskey. Great whiskey. I'm hoping that they don't stay mothballed long. Sorry, but every sip of that whiskey always makes mm, my mouth water. It's so good. It's so sweet. And I've said this once. I've said it thousands of times. That sweet and peat just have a wonderful synergy together on that whiskey. Not overpowering, the sweetness that pairs, the honey, the vanilla that comes through there is silky deliciousness in a glass. Really is. The legs are beautiful on this thing. I hope you all can see because I can see it looking through the glass right there. But it's a nice whiskey, and it's not a bad price. It's not a bad price at all. Mm, wow, it is. It's a great whiskey, and I'm sorry to say that that they're going to be shutting them down for a minute. But oh well. Oh, there's Sean. Hey, sir. Cheers, brother. If you didn't hear earlier, Glenn Glassall, Portsnoy in a glass to start off. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for popping in here. Really appreciate you being here tonight. JD, question, Anthony. Have I ever been banned as a moderator on your channel? No, not that I know of. And why you aren't, I don't know. Let me look at this here. I don't understand it. Let me just take a see here real quick. What the hell? Boom. Hold on. Bam. Fixed. Don't know why you never were. I thought you always were, but done deal, brother. Done deal. Managing partner. Managing partner. There you go. Oh, looky here, looky here, looky here. All the way from the great state of Virginia, we got Mr. Slapshot. Cheers, Brian. Appreciate you. Thank you for popping in here. Always, always great to see you. Always great to see you, sir. Really do appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. All right. So, gateway into the world of Octomore. So, I told you, Greg hooked me with the 13.2. Marty dropped off the one that I'm going to be sampling tonight, which will be the 14.1. 119.2 proof, which is absolutely fine with me because I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I'm a proofy bitch. 100 and north. Bring it on. To me, that higher proof level just kicks it up a notch and brings out flavor. Is it always true? Of course not. But in most of my experiences and for my tastes and palate, 100 plus on the ABV is a 2 thumbs up. That's for sure. Um, Always great to have that. That's for sure. That little bit extra ABV. So while I'm still chatting here, let me grab a Brook Lottie glass, and I'm going to go ahead and open this 14-1. I'm just going to let it sit for a few minutes while I finish up the Glen glass out, and then we'll get into this here a little bit. Let me just open this up because Marty didn't want to spill any on the seat of his AMC Pacer when he came out here. Hold on. There we go. Oh. So let me just take a little of this here and let's pour some of this out here. There we go. Get a nice little bit in the glass there. Yes, I saved a little something. Let me put the topper on. A special topper, as I've said before, made by Top Dog just for these occasions. Put that on there. I'm just going to let that sit a minute. So I got that opened up. But yeah, 13-2 hooked me. Marty dropped off the 14-1. And then last week, you all know, I found the 15-3. And so when I was doing that little tasting of Brooklotti with Mr. Great Shot, I pulled this out, and the 18 that I picked up at a Brooklotti master class that I went to with ASMR whiskey 2 weeks ago. And wow, great event, great stories, great time, that's for sure. And you couldn't beat it for $20. That was 2 people. Great tasting. Great tasting. And there is another YouTube legend right there, Mike Stahl of Live Wire Whiskey. He will be streaming tonight at 6 my time, 9 Eastern. He does have a lineup tonight. So after this, everybody make sure you get over there to Live Wire Whiskey. You definitely don't want to miss it. That's for darn sure. Just listeners to one. That is for sure. That is for sure. Thank you, Eric. And there is the link to Livewire after us at 6. What's nice, the sweetness on this Glenglassau Portnoy lasts. A little citrus on the finish. It's bright. It's clean. Nice peat on the retrohale. I think this is a well-balanced peated whiskey for a beginner to moderate peat person, without a doubt. I think it gives you a great balance in a Scotch, particularly a peated whiskey. And that's why I like Highland Park. You can drink this all day. I could drink any peated whiskey all day long, but it's just a good whiskey in general. Just a good whiskey in general. Okay. So another one that I picked up a while ago, thanks to ASMR whiskey. Yeah, you got it. I've had this for a minute. A couple of Christmases I picked it up, Brian, ago, and really like it. I do. It's actually an off the rack, but I tell you what, the thing is nice. It fits well. And, I just like it. I don't know. It's just one of those ones that you put it on and you go, oh yeah, this thing is nice. I got to get the hat stretcher in it though. Just a touch. I mean, literally just a touch in there. But so when he was out and about, he sent me a picture of this one, the Glenfiddich 12. So I had to pick this up. Of course, it is in a sherry cask, but a particular sherry cask, and I'm I was very interested in this type of influence on there. I think it's called Amontillado, something along that lines. I know I'm not pronouncing it quite right, but that's the type of uh, sherry cask finish that it is. So it's a 12-year-old single malt Scotch. I've seen it, and I just couldn't pass it up. So, and especially for $40 out the door, yeah, it was a no-brainer. So he delivered that to me. So I'm kind of looking forward to popping the top on that here in the next week or two and giving that a roll. 43 ABV, so I'm fine with that on a 12 year. I can live with that ABV at 43. You know, I think that's respectable for a 12-year-old Scotch. I mean, yes, would I love 46? Well, of course, but hey, I'll take 43. That's for darn sure. I'll take 43 for sure. Yes. I heard is I know it's not 11. I just saw underneath that you put 12. But yeah, I've heard some good things about it. Matter of fact, Bourbon brought it to my attention a while back. And it just so happened that ASMR whiskey was out and about. And when he's out and about and finds some good deals, I always get pictures. And so pictures usually cost me money. And so I think I told him to pick this up somewhere around Halloween time, beginning of November, maybe. And I just picked it up off of him. So I technically have had it for a minute, but literally not into these hands. Literally not into these hands. But anyway, but anyway, let's talk a little bit about Brooklotti, and let's talk about the Octomore 14.1. As you know, that particular whiskey, they do use 100% Scottish barley. And I believe I wrote down it was like 128.9 parts per million when they measure the peat level. And so I do believe Ardbeg, I said, was 50 ppms. Lafroig is about 35. This one coming in at 128.9 ppm is considered very heavily peated. And just like Mark and I talked last week with Greg when he was on, that's subjective to the term heavily peated. But the peat in the region that it is harvested from, that decayed matter, and when they burn it under the grain, imparts a particular flavor. And of course, they give it a good dose, let's say, to bring that peat level up to that amount. And a lot of people think it's like, okay, the Lafroig, it's like getting hit in the face with a number 10 coal shovel. It is medicinal. It is just band-aids. It's what people talk about peat when they first try it and either say it's awful or it's sheer delight, right? You all know what I'm talking about. Um, to me, it's beautiful. And I got that note in the beginning. I got that note in the beginning. It was it was it it was horrible at first. And I was into peat 20 plus years ago. Just kind of stepped away from it. And then when I got back into it, I did that Ardbeg Pirate. Yeah, I'd rather run my tongue across one of those freaking mats under a urinal in a men's room to get the freaking taste off my tongue than have to endure it. But once you get it, you know it. And eventually, it wasn't long before I was back up there and uh, drinking peat at no problem. There you go, people. That's why I love these people in my chat. They always have a little more to the story and can explain it a little better. That is for sure. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, everyone's telling me that sherry finish is really, really good. Really good. That's for sure. Hey, Donald. Cheers, sir. Always great to have you here. Boy, we got everybody. We got Canada represented. We got the UK represented. We got France over here. I mean, sooner or later, because I'm talking about Pete, I'm telling you, somebody from the land of Oz will show up. It never fails. Never fails. But anyway, so the it's if I'm trying to remember, I'm going by memory. I think this is matured for 5 years. Could be six, but I'm going to say five just to be on the safe side. In ex-American casks. Um, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know exactly. I try not to get too far into some of these because I don't want to know specifically tasting notes and things of that nature. I want to tell you what I get naturally and what I feel about the peat level now that I've had Octomores. You know, it is totally different. I mean, they say heavily peated. My heavily peated definitely isn't the same. It is just it's just not the same. That's for sure. And some people will say, "Oh my gosh, it's just loaded with peat." When I hit that 13.2, I was getting vanilla, I was getting fruits, sweet, peat. Uh, it wasn't it was not in my mind heavily peated. It just wasn't. It wasn't there at all. It was not there at all. So now this is the 14.1. We got her up here. I hope you all can see that. Come on. Why aren't you? Okay, here we go. This is the 14.1 right there. Kind of light. Well, compared to the Portsnoy, this thing is light. This is light compared to the Portsnoy. But on the nose, instantly like a vanilla and caramel maybe on the nose. Definitely honey. You know, maybe it's vanilla, caramel, vanilla, caramel, that heather, slight honey note, pear. And really, I know there's peat on there. I get it, but it's so darn light. So darn light. Um, I mean, you have to kind of get your nose down in there and take a whiff, and then you'll get the peat. You'll get that touch of medicinal note, touch on there. That sign that it may and really this will to me would come off on the nose. I would have a suggestion of a lightly peated whiskey. Now remember what I said, we're talking 128 ppms here, okay, as far as the on the peat level. But on the nose for me, oh my gosh, you are so right. But when I inhale this right now, and I do it with both nostrils, and you see me turn my head, and my mouth is open a little bit, so it's kind of like a through any way I can get some air in. But it is just a vanilla cake, caramel, heather slash honey pear on the nose with just a kiss of peat. That's what it is to me on the nose, just a kiss of peat. All right, let me clear off this palate real quick. All right, let's get the first sip of this. This is the Octomore 14-1. Oh, yeah. There you go. I will say it's magnificent. There's just no beating around the bush on this on the 14.1. It's magnificent. It's it's silky. It's sweet on the retro hail. I'm telling you, to me, this is mild on the peat. It really is. It's mild. As a matter of fact, I'm I'm trying to think, and Sean's now got Highland Park on my brain, but a little bit of a little bit of brine on that one on this retro hill. Let me just get another little sip here. Okay, a little bit of spice now on the palate coming in. It's coming back. Sweetness is still there. The spice, a little pepper. That's the second sip. But as I contemplate this, as as things are just coming in, and like I said, in the flavors, a little citrus zest or um, on there, but it's nice. So the level on this, and I'm looking at a bottle, is reminiscent of this indie bottle from Alexander Murray and Company from the Tobermory distillery. It's a 22-year-old single malt scotch that has some peat to it. And I'll tell you what. Um, hmm. It's making me think that it's a peat level along that line. And this is a lot darker than what I'm drinking. It's 22 years old. Refill sherry butts, and an exceptional whiskey. Exceptional whiskey right there. Um, I'm just thinking, sorry, I'm pausing because I'm just trying to let everything develop as it is. And now the finish has died. I'm going to say it's not a short finish. It's not extremely long, but it's a definite medium full finish. But the peat is not still with you like Lagavulin, Lefroy, Ardbeg. Okay. It's not along. I keep referring to that because anyone that's had it say, oh, no, that's too strong or that's this. No, it's not like that. Almost a buttery texture on it. Oily but light. Oily but light on the palate. Yeah. The citrus, little citrus on that is there. But I'm telling you would honestly gave me this, didn't tell me what it was. There's no way I would call it a heavily peated whiskey. I just wouldn't. There's no way. No way. Now, you know what? That is a nice point. I didn't think about that. It could be leche. But, I'm just trying to draw a comparison because heavily peated, Greg, I mean, I know it is. Okay, I know it is, but it absolutely does not come off that way. It just doesn't. Well, you know what? I don't blame you, but I will tell you this, James. If you can get a dram, and by God, if I was down the street from you, I'd have the bottle over there with the rest of this in my 15-3, and we would damn well make a good determination if it was heavily peated or not. I guarantee you. But if you have a chance or somehow, some way to get a dram, you got to try. You've got to try it because I know you don't mind a little peat. But yeah, this would definitely be in your wheelhouse. Really, see, I'm not getting the ashiness, and I understand. I got that. I'm not. Interesting that you make that. But again, everybody, taste subjective. Greg here, his palate is far beyond mine. I guarantee you it is. But taste is so subjective. He's able to pull other things out of it that I am not because he has a much more refined palate than me and is quite an experienced whiskey taster as compared to me. So it's interesting to hear his take on the notes he gets. And that's why I love more of this international type of an audience that will come here and interject a thought, an opinion as to what they have encountered or their experience, let's say. This is especially what I enjoy about having these other people that pop on here when I talk about particular whiskeys. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If I hadn't gotten this one Octomore for what I did, I probably wouldn't do it because they're for one bottle of Octomore like this one, $300. That's about the going rate here in Las Vegas. But yeah, if I didn't get this thing at a what I felt was a good deal, yeah, I definitely probably would not have it, Sean. Okay, perfect. Oh, there's no doubt, James. You got the classic Lottie. You're good. I've said that. I agree with everybody. That classic Lottie hits all the boxes for me. It ticks every box. It's got flavor. It's got a finish. It's got malty goodness. I prefer a little splash of peat, but hey, at that price, at their core, that's Brooklotic. It's delicious. Oh, okay. Well, it happens, Mike. I was just telling my wife yesterday or today. I said almost all day yesterday I was fine. Yesterday afternoon, I don't know. Is something just come over me and I don't know, I just didn't feel well. Now I'm okay this morning, but now she's telling me sore throat, nose, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna make sure I don't get it. But okay, well, technical difficulties happen, so there won't be live wire tonight, folks. Will not be live wire. It happens. All I could say is, dude, just get better. We will do our best from here, sir. Cheers, Mike. You and Frankie, just drink some tea and get well, sir. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There is no doubt about that. Octomore, batch to batch to batch, the you know, 10, 12, 13, 14. Absolutely. Absolutely. There is big difference. Big, big difference. Yep. But every year they fly off the shelf. That's for sure. Yep, yep, yep. Hey, cheers, Scotty. Great to see you, man. Thanks for popping by. Yes, sir. That classic latte is perfect. It is perfect. There's other ones too that I would choose, but absolutely, absolutely, uh, absolutely good. Absolutely good. Yep. Hey, Mr. Hall. Cheers, sir. Great to see you. Thank you for popping in here. Wow. See, I definitely don't get that ashiness, but again, everybody, see, taste is purely subjective. And to Greg, it just has a quality to it that is not appealing. He didn't say it was terrible whiskey. It's just that on these particular notes on the Octomore, he pulls out that ashiness as if it's a just saying if it's a cigarette. And that's his palate. That is what it comes off. I don't get that on here. I don't get that. And that's just like now when people call out, very, very medicinal. I have to search for it or I really have to smell it and I will get it. But I don't always get it anymore on the taste because I have become used to that. Not that I can't find it, not that I can't taste it. To me, it's one of those notes that appear far in the background. It's not prevalent to me as it once was years ago. I don't know. That's about the best I can explain it for me on my end. And that's also a valid point. So let me just preface this from where Greg's come from. When he started doing them, just like he said, let's just say the earlier ones, 5.17, so on and so forth. And so every year, everything is different. So when he started tasting them in those years, there's definitely different whiskeys and stuff that they were making it out of at that time. And the taste through the years do change. which makes Octomore special and popular, and that's my words. Um, and so he is basing what he knew it was to what he has seen it transform into. And again, his opinion. And he'll be the first one to say, if you like it, you buy it. It's absolutely okay. And this is what I like. People also that have had expressions long before me can tell me facts like, oh, it used to be, this, it used to be that. As it's changed through the years, okay, so 10 years, let's say, the way the direction that they have taken it hasn't ticked the boxes he was hoping anymore. And I'm sure we all have a story like that too, with different whiskeys that we have tried in the beginning and thought, oh my God, they're magnificent. And then through the years, something about it has changed. And that once delicious whiskey to me, to you, became, well, it's good. There's something about it now I don't care for in the way they have continued that series. So, but taste is subjective. And so it's okay. But just because I don't get that, he does. Oh, well, I mean, that's just how that goes. Oh, sauternes. Well, of course. Who doesn't like a good sauternes finished? See? See, now that's a good now I like to hear that. So see, he had them before they were known as Octomore and what they have transformed into. So there you go. There you go. Now there's the background. That's perfect. And people like me don't know that part of it that Greg knows. So anyway, saying that is that's why I love having these different people here that can interject some backstory so we get a better understanding of the lineage and how this whiskey has progressed in what it was to what it is. And I'm good with where it's at. Greg just wasn't quite happy with its transformation through the years. In the beginning, yes, going up to 5, 7, 8, what he had stated he was happy with. And then after that, let's just say it started either turn a little much to the right or turn a little too much to the left. It happens. It happens. And it just doesn't tick those boxes. But I didn't know that the Octomore, that little bit of story on that. So that is perfect. Perfect. Yes, absolutely. It's very personal. And that's how we all develop from our personal experiences and our tastes when it comes to bourbon, when it comes to American single malt, when it comes to single malt Scotch or blended Scotch, Irish. It doesn't make a difference. We all have a preference. We know what we like. There are some people that will say, if you tell them this whiskey has a sherry finish, they stop and just say, take my money because you have them at sherry. I'm guilty of that. A good sherried whiskey. Well, so okay, Sauternes too, but a sherry whiskey, I'm going to say, okay, yes, I will try it. Yes, I will try that. Absolutely, I will try that. But over our journey on this whiskey road, we all develop our palate, we develop our likes, and some things we just taste and we go, it's no good. And so, anyway, again, that's why I just love having these people in chat to put some story, put some other meaning and information forward. You ever hear of Glen Scotia, JD? I hear that stuff is just horrid. I'll be wearing the pink hat. Really? Well, you know what? You know what? I have a Glen Alecky. It's the 12. And I will say this. I'm going to have a few more drams out of it because being that you and JD are talking about it, I wasn't overly impressed with it. It's the core expression. I wasn't overly impressed with it, but let me say this. I didn't think it was horrid or anything like that. Um, I haven't went back to it in a minute. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go back to that and give it a whirl again. It's actually right up front on the bottom shelf, but yeah, yeah, I can understand that. That Glen Scotia, yeah, JD, it's new. It's nothing you would ever want to try. That's for sure. Matter of fact, if you come across it, just pick it up and just mail it to me. I'll get rid of it. Okay, I'm going to remember that because I thought it had a little spiciness to it on the Glenallachie. Let me look here. Let me look here. Sorry, now you got me thinking. It's dangerous. Oh no, no, no. It's further back than what I thought. It's not the one. I'm not going to reach down there and find it, but that's okay. Hmm. Oh yeah. Well, there's regular Campbelltown around here. Uh, I was like, where is my Glen Scotia? I know it's here. I think I kicked it once or twice. Oh, there it is. I got my master class notes on there. It's right next to the tail of ice cream there. Yes, I've got floor whiskey underneath my feet. Oh, well. Hey, look at this. Cheers, Paul. Appreciate you popping in here. Always great having you around, sir. Thank you. Little Octomore 14.1 here in the glass. It's great whiskey. If you have a chance to get a pour of it, I would tell you to give it a shot. It says it's heavily peated, coming in at 128.9 ppm. Uh, I beg to differ, but taste is subjective. But anyway, that's what's in the glass, and it was definitely a good pour thanks to Whiskey Nose. Okay, I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to look. I think there might be a couple here at Total Wine. Yeah, I think you use those as target practice, right, JD? That's why you keep them on your bar. There you go. And Paul's link, Biking Bourbon. Make sure you all go over there and slap a sub over to him, say hello, and tell him I sent you. I don't think he'll throw you out. Hey, Ed. Cheers, man. Don't know how long you've been lurking around, but the little Octomore 14 one in the glass, thanks to Whiskey Nose. Did a quick review of that, and I find it quite enjoyable. They say heavily peated at 128.9 ABV. That is very subjective because to me, it is absolutely delicious. Yeah, I don't call it heavily peated, but that's what they say. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Evil Williams. Cheers, sir. Twice in one day. I'm lucky. Cheers, brother. The more I do sip on it, though, that vanilla is like, boom, right there now on the palate. That vanilla is right there. That sweet. And like I said, the peat it's there, but no, it's done very well. Very well. I will say this about the peat. And I get this buttery note, so I'm gonna put that level of peat on there with the butter. It's like you just got a slight coat of coat of butter on your toast. There's that smoky, oily texture with the vanilla sweetness that's there. It's not a pungent peat. I don't get ashiness off of this peat. It's balanced to me. The peat is balanced, is the note that I get. And I'm looking for a better way to describe it, but I can't. I just can't. I can't figure out a better way. Oh, I'm telling you, no one buy that Glen Scotia. I agree with what Greg says. It is the Long Branch of Campbelltown, and everybody knows my affection for Long Branch. See? There you go. JD knows. You know what? I'm going to do that here. I'm going to add a little more to the glass, and I am going to put a little water in here just to see. I just want to add a little more whiskey to the glass. So, and I have a special device here that allows me to add water to this. Just enough. It's a special device here, people. Yes, it's very, very special here. Let me just get there we go. There we go. Just enough. Just enough, and we'll give her a spin here. So there's 3 drops of water I just put in here. And that was going to be my next thing, and Greg was already going down the road. So I will say this, the vanilla has become more prevalent after 3 drops of water to me. Ethanol was never a problem. The vanilla is very prevalent right now, and so is the single malt sweetness. Well, I can understand that, especially where you are. Cheers, Z Man. Hope you had a good day, sir. And we are now, you and I, on the same time zone because we moved our clocks today. All right, let me take a sip with 3 drops of water. Mm, wow. Definitely, definitely more vanilla forward. Um, Seemed a little fruitier on the palate. The peat level or the didn't seem to change for me. 10 times less expensive. I bet it was. Let me get another sip here. Okay. I will say this with 3 drops of water in this Octomore, it's definitely to me picked up more of the vanilla note has came out with that. Also, the caramel and kind of a candied fruit note had came about with it. The finish hasn't changed. The peat experience hasn't changed. It's still very well balanced on that. Still very well balanced. Still very well balanced. Mm. Still got a little spice. Still a very pleasant whiskey to me. Still a very pleasant. Um, Still a very pleasant whiskey. Yeah, I bow my head like that because I'm looking at the glass and I'm like, what else am I getting? Am I missing anything on there? And this is one of those ones you're going to have more than one glass, and you're going to just have to sit there and let the experiences happen. As you get acclimated to the whiskey and as you have some time to sit and just sip on the whiskey and stare out the window, whatever it is that you do, and just let the experience happen. You not really thinking about it, but all of a sudden this note might pop up or that note might pop up in there. And that's just something I like to do. Even if it's just sitting with the television on and sipping on a whiskey. And a lot of times I'll go, well, that's unusual. I got some apple on that. Or, wow, that's got some dark cherry here, just out of the blue. But I'm really not thinking about it. And things like that, will pop into my head as I'm just sitting minding my own business, having a dram. So, well, what's uncomfortable is I know that this is all the 14 that I have left. And unfortunately, I'm getting a little choked up knowing that that's it once that's gone. But I am fortunate to say I have had it. So there you go. Ah, yes, we all have those stories. Hmm. Now, just for a moment, just for a moment on that. Now, see, I swear I got a little bit of butterscotch on there because I said buttery earlier, had a buttery texture, and just on that sip, I'm like, oh my gosh, was that butterscotch? Wow, it's all good, man. Just you being here is all we need, dude. Just keep both hands on the wheel. About what is the price on that, Jonathan? Because here, 270, $300. So I just usually round it up to $300 a bottle is pretty much any of them current series. Hmm. Yeah, no, I didn't get it this time, but it's a it's a fine whiskey. It's a fine whiskey. Expensive, but it's a fine whiskey. All right, little palate cleanser going there. Get some water down. I got another sip, and then I'm gonna I'm gonna bump it up a notch here after this because one, I got it, so might as well. Oh, the Klein Leash 14, absolutely. That's a wonderful, wonderful drop. Wonderful drop. Okay, really, that's not terrible. That's not terrible, Jonathan. That's not terrible at all. So yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. That's not for me. That's not a terrible price because I know what they are out here. And if you're getting them, let's just say between there and, I got mine for the 180 because it was the master class I went to. So I couldn't pass it up because I know what they are all around here. So, and they're at least 70, $80 more depending on what you see them at. So I couldn't pass that up. I have not, and I don't think I've seen it, Greg. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. So, since I'm on the kick, I'm going to go ahead and pour just a touch of the 15.3 that I picked up and give it a little. I just opened it last weekend and had just a little touch out of it. And so I need to get it. I need to get it down to the shoulder anyway. So let me just have a little touch here. Just a little touch. $15.3. Boy, it's not, the color's not far off than the 14.1. This is the 15.3. So it's not far off from the 14. Let me put that on there. I gotta sit with this one night and do a little deep dive into it. But now see on this compared to the 14.1, and this is what 309 ppms. Hold on, I keep forgetting. 307.2 ppms on the 15.3 here. So 307.2 ppm coming in at 61.3 ABV. 61.3. I think I get a little more peat-esque out of a 14.1. That's why it's like, wow. Here, it's vanilla all day long. Right on the nose, vanilla. And you really have to search for the peat. Amazing. Now, this is a heavily peated whiskey. The 15.3 is a heavily peated whiskey. And I'm searching to find peat on the nose. Hey, Mark. Cheers, brother. Hey, anybody subscribe to Northwest Bourbon? You all should be. This is one of the hardest working veterans I know and still serving. So please go over there right now. If you're not subscribed to Northwest Bourbon, get over there and slap him a sub and tell him I sent you. Well, wait a minute. Leave that part out. Just go ahead over there and slap him a sub. And here we go. Thank you very much to my moderators for being Johnny on the spot. That's him right there. That's him right there. And he also does a veteran stream every month where veterans from all branches, not just the Army, can come, sit, talk, get anything they need off their chest. Trust me, it is a worthwhile stream, people. Got to be there. You got to be there. And he is a great supporter of Whiskey Tube. Absolute great supporter of Whiskey Tube. So thank you, Mark. Cheers. Appreciate you and what you do for us all. Cheers, brother. Now, right off the bat, when you take that sip, the peat level is definitely more than the 14-1. Okay. But it's sweet. It's sweet as candy. It's sweet as candy on the palate. It really is. But you know you've got some peat in the glass. But again, it's not a Lagavulin. It's not a Lafroig. I mean, I'm just telling you. Remember what I said? Lafroig's about 35 ppms. So this is 307. Wow. Peat is such a wonderful addition to whiskey once you get to know it and truthfully experience it. So, man, I hate to do this because it's such a good sweetness, but I'm going to do it. I did not do it because I didn't formally review it when I poured some last week. I just did it because it was here. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a drop or two in here. There's 3 drops into this glass with that device. Now let me just give it a swirl here and let it all come together. As ADHD whiskey would say, we're going to make it dizzy. We're going to make it dizzy right here, right now. You're watching that thing just spin and spin and spin. Okay. Still a vanilla bomb on the nose. Just a touch of ethanol, but it's 61 ABV. It's not burning your nostrils. Not at all. Sorry, I'm thinking a minute here as to what is what. Don't mind the dog. She's just being a dog. Okay. Yeah, it's still a vanilla bomb all day long. Still a vanilla bomb. Without a doubt. My watch is telling me it's time to stand up. I don't think so. Wow. Wow. Hey, Ben Demon Hunter. Another Canadian showing up. Here we go. See, the Canadian Liquor Control Board might be banning our booze, but Canadians themselves aren't banning my show. There you go. No, what I'm saying is the flavor doesn't seem to be impacted on this with a couple of drops of water. Still a vanilla bomb on the nose. Still malty sweetness. You know, that stuff that you would expect. Mm. Sorry about pausing, but I'm really just trying to enjoy this, and I'm salivating because it's so damn good. But no, this is really good. This is really good. When I do the review, I think I'm going to proof it down a hair more. I put 3 little drops in. I'm going to splurge and probably put 6 when I really get into it. But wow, this is vanilla all day long, and I'm telling you, I have to search for the peat on the nose. Okay, and this is a heavily peated whiskey. Heavily peated whiskey. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. I mean, I don't even know why I'm going to waste my time doing a review of it because I'm telling you now. But oh my goodness, this is fantastic. Caramely. That's what it is. It's like a caramel, vanilla caramel on the palate, on the retro hail. It's definitely a little spicier. The ABV is higher than the 14 one, but I still can pick a slight trace of peat up on the 14 one, but by gosh, I can't. I mean, I'm really not getting it on the nose. I'm really not. And now I could be nose blind, but I'm just not getting it. Wow. This is really good whiskey. I mean, I'm just lucky I was able to get a bottle of it at a price that I felt was right. And that's my first bottle I've ever had. And if it wasn't for Greg McDonald, I never would have tried it until Whiskey Nose dropped off a sample. But this is truly good whiskey, and I'm grateful for friends like that will drop this stuff off. And if I wasn't such a destination city, I wouldn't get to experience some of the stuff. And some of I always love to talk about story time, and I always say one of my favorite whiskeys to drink comes from Shane Long, who is Storytime Distillery. And I've told the story many, many, many times about one of their first releases they did, Christmas. And I got some of it. And I was told straight out, it's chocolate in a glass. And man, if any of you have had that, know what I'm talking about. But I had some. That had to be the best damn whiskey I have had. That the chocolate was like chocolate. The proof on that was freaking amazing. There you go. It's like chocolate cake in the glass. Hold on for a second. Greg, appreciate you, man. I know it's late across the pond there where you are in France. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your knowledge and wisdom. I appreciate you, sir. Cheers. Have a great evening and look forward to having a conversation with you again, brother. Thank you. But yeah, it's chocolate in a glass. And I don't know, Shane pulled that one out of his ass. I mean, it was absolutely freaking amazing. And but he has some good stuff, people. Uh Story time comes up with some great picks. That's for darn sure. But I love to pick on Shane, and I always say my favorite whiskey to drink comes off of his bar. And one day I'm getting over there in North Carolina and I'm raiding that freaking bar because I know he's got some Christmas. That's for damn sure. But anyway, let's finish drinking this up. Mm, mm, mm. Wow, that's just darn good whiskey. It's just good whiskey. That's just what it comes down to. It's just damn good whiskey. Let me get a little palate cleanser here before I finish the rest of that off. Oh my gosh, them kids, I know. So Storytime Distillery a few years back did a release called Christmas. It was like chocolate cake in a glass, and it wasn't like artificial chocolatey or anything like that. It wasn't like, oil and water. It's just like something that just didn't mix. Oh, it was it was phenomenal whiskey. I'm laughing because I really truthfully mean it. It was so damn good. And thanks to a friend of mine who sent me the sample, and funny story is that we reconnected because of this channel on YouTube, and we got to chatting. And long story short is we know each other. We grew up together, same town, same high school, the whole 9 yards. It's just the things he was saying, I was catching. I'm like, where are you from? And da 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 da. Because it was just one of these things. It's just phrases and stuff that he said. But anyway, he sent me that, and oh my gosh, it was just so good. That whiskey was. It was so good. Absolutely brilliant whiskey. Really was. Really was great whiskey. It was just, it's something that comes around once in a lifetime, and I'm so glad that uh, someone had given me that chance to have that and to experience that, and it turned out to be a lifelong friend out of a blue. Just boom, there we go. I mean, because of Whiskey Tube on YouTube is how we connected. And I have his phone. We still chat. And um, he said, grew up in the same damn town. But, it took all these years. I'm like, I know this guy. I know this guy. I know this guy. And Whiskey Nose and him are good friends. So, but anyway, that's how I got this whiskey. Oak and agave. All right. Well, somebody that knows something about tequila. Now, that's something I haven't gotten into, but I do have my pinky toe in the water. And Añejo and Blanca, I tell you what, once now I have learned that you can sip tequila like whiskey. Holy smokes, it has changed my world. I don't have any on the shelf. None. I do not have a tequila on the shelf. However, because of bad experiences in college, I just couldn't stand tequila. But of course, found out I wasn't drinking tequila. I was drinking shit. But what do you know? Once you develop and grow, and someone hands you an actual tequila that you sip like I am sipping on this Octomore, it is great stuff. So I'm hoping when you say oak and agave, you are meaning tequila, because that could be a whole nother wormhole that that I could easily go down. And I'm laughing because, oh, I don't need another vice. That's for darn sure. But appreciate you here, sir. Thank you very much for coming over, smashing the like button, and joining us and joining the chat. And really, if that is because of tequila, let me know in chat. Oh my gosh, Mr. Eminecker. Cheers, brother. Great to see you. Really appreciate having you here, man. I hope all is well with you. Saw you beating your gums with Big Vic there. I just wasn't feeling it last night, and I would have jumped on, but I was just sitting there kind of just being me and having a dram and listening to you all. But great to see. I don't get to talk to you as much as I used to, but it's really nice to see you here, man. Thanks for popping in here. Oh man. Well, that's perfect. That is perfect. Okay. Wasn't sure, but I am so glad that you told me that because, like I said, I got a toe in the water, literally just a pinky toe in there. But man, that añejos, those blancos, oh my goodness. I really enjoyed it. You sip it, it's like this, and it has flavor. You're not reaching for that wedge of lemon or lime and a tablespoon of salt to get rid of that damn taste out of your mouth. Whoo-wee. Oh my gosh, it happens, brother. But yes, we are still here. We are still here because we still have whiskey and we're bullshitting. That's the bottom line. We are bullshitting now. Perfect. Perfect, man. We may have to do some chatting here because I'm all about testing some tequila. That's for darn sure, but I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea. Well, of course, we all said that when we started on this journey, and here we are. So, anyway, it's all good. It is all good. Let me finish this off here. Hold on. This is the Octomore 15-3 with 3 drops of water. And to me, it's still a extremely, oops, sorry, hit the wrong thing there. Good whiskey. Really became extremely vanilla forward when I added the 3 drops of water, particularly on the nose. Just a hint of peat on the nose. Just a hint of peat right now. It's hard to pick up. I mean, it's there. It's there, but you got to search. And for a heavily peated whiskey, it's amazing. Mm, mm, mm. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. All right. That's delicious. So, mm. Well, what the hell? Let me see. Hold on. Because now I'm on this peat thing. 15-year-old Klein leash. This is really good. Oh, you know what? Oh, um, oh, I have not poured the Glenlivet Nadura in a minute. I'm going to pour a little bit of that and into the Glenlivet glass. Coincidence that it's right here. Trust me. I have not had a little bit of this. I've had it, yes, but I haven't had it in a while. Coming in at 61.5 ABV, the Glenlivet Nadura single malt Scotch whiskey. I honestly haven't poured this in a minute, so we're gonna pour just a little something in the glass here. There we go. Just a taste. Just a taste here. This cork is, it's all right. Is it getting a little loose? Finished in a peated whiskey cask. It's actually, I like this whiskey. I like this whiskey. So your batch is, hold on, Sean. The batch you have, FF0115, batch is PW1015. PW1015. let's see here. Oh my goodness. Now this has apples on the nose. I forgot about that. This is almost that appley note like on an orchard house. I get a little bit of smoke on that. I get a little bit of smoke, but you know what? It's about as smoky on the nose as the 14-1. Yeah, it's not strong at all. But anyway. Yeah, crisp apples. Wow. Mm. I tell you what, it's good, but the Octomore 15-3, wow. The ABV is the same. This is 61. The 15-3 was what? 61 point what? 61.3. And this is 61. Oh God, anything. 61.5. So we're not talking much difference here. Wow. It's there, but it's definitely apple on the nose. Mm. Wow. Yeah, the Octomore is just a smidge more refined. I'm sorry. Just a smidge more refined. As a matter of fact, let me add just a couple of drops of water to the Nadira here. We're just going to do this scientifically here. 3 drops. There we go. 3 drops in there. Let's make it dizzy. We'll make it dizzy. Give ADHD whiskey his dues for making it dizzy. Still vanilla, apple. Now that rounded it a bit. That 3 drops of whiskey rounded it out just a little bit. Mm. Wow. Okay. I got to look at something because. Okay. I was thinking jelly, kind of a note on the palate. Marmalade is what they said. I'm like, that is the freaking weirdest. That's why I said, let me look at something first. And I'm going to look again. Yeah, palate. Rich, tangy marmalade, creamy vanilla, got that toffee, and distinct toasted smokiness. Yeah. And it is. The finish is complex. It's spicy and a layer of subtle smoke. Yes. Absolutely. I don't know. Does anybody? Oh, I know you have it, Sean. Does anybody else have that Nadira? I don't know if Eric's still here. I don't know if you have that Nadira at all, Eric. No, shit, I don't. I was gonna say yes, I do, because I got your samples in front of me. No, I killed that son of a but I didn't think that was heavily peated either, Greg. But I caught the peat on the nose, but I had to search for it. If I recall, Marty and Mark didn't catch the peat, but I said peat, and no, I finished that off about 2 weeks ago. Oh, oh, that was, I like that, and that was a vanilla bomb. That truthfully had vanilla all over the place there. As soon as I start talking whiskey and mention Eric's name, even though he was 2 rooms away, here he comes. Sorry, I'm just laughing. This one, the Glenlivet Nadira, that's what I'm sipping on right now, and I just was wondering if you have this one. But yeah, I think the finish is complex. It's sweet with a subtle hint of smoke. I love the ABV. Couple of splashes of water. It's great whiskey. I wish it was age stated, but it's an NAS. Doesn't mean that it's bad, but I like the whiskey. That's for darn sure. Mm. Mm. Mm-mm. So, Greg, I have the Highland Park Scotch in the City. It's an 11-year, coming in at 65.4 ABV right here. Yes, I still have this gem left that you dropped off here a while back. Wow, a while back. No Glenlivet Nadira? You, of all people, with this shelf of repertoire of fantastic booze? Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, you know what? Yes, I think that would be great for our next tasting with Whiskey Nose and Mr. Great Shot. I know you're already working on one for, let's just say, next month or so, but that could be something for the following one. So, anyway, as you all know, Greg drives out here and runs down to Texas and then does a Hail Mary to Marty and is the benefactor of a few of our streams and tastings that we all have done. And you've heard me mention them. And then particularly about the 13-2, the Octomore that I've got right here. He's the one that I blame for now hooking me on Octomore. But he has provided me some excellent samples. As a matter of fact, that's why I was just shaking here. I was like, this is one that he provided me, oh goodness, over a year ago. And I really liked it. And I'm hesitating, but I think I'm gonna pour this next, not because he's here, but because I think it would be a great representation, because in these Octomores, we talk about Highland Park and Highland Park peat. And this, believe me, is nowhere near the Octomore peat level. However, this peat level that I'm getting in the Octomore, I think of Highland Park. I think of Highland Park because it's so approachable on the peat. It's so approachable. And with this Octomore, it reminds me of that characteristic of Highland Park. So anyway. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can just want to drop that off to me. I'm fine. You know what I say? Heck with the rest. Well, you know what, Eric? I can appreciate that. It's whiskeys that you say, well, you know what? It's good. It just doesn't make my foot tap. And you don't turn it down, especially if someone pours it, because it's not drain pour whiskey. It's just one of those that just didn't tick the boxes for you. But being that you haven't tried the Nadura at 61.5 ABV, finished in a peated whiskey cask, hey, it could turn your life around when you taste that. I'm not saying you will run and buy a Glenfiddich 12, but it could be the one. You don't know. Oh, Dustin's Whiskey World pick? Yes. Yes. Well, you know what? And that's anything. That's anything. I mean, you're absolutely right. Um, so let's just say a core range of Glenglassaught 12. So Glenglassaught 12, Sands End, and Portsnoy are all the core range. If you like the 12, generally you will like the spin on Sands End and then the lightly peated Portsnoy, which I opened the stream with. And sometimes it will tick the boxes, sometimes it won't. But then all of a sudden they put out a one off that all of a sudden you go, now that whiskey from them is good. So, yes, I appreciate that outlook you have. That, yes, that one might bring you around. It might not take you to the 12, but okay, for that particular distillery, that expression, yes, exactly. Exactly. Oh, oh my gosh, it is. And I'm surprised it's not here on the floor next to the Portsnoy. The Portsnoy's up here. And now you, oh, I know where the Sands End. It's behind the Highland Park 15 because I had some of this not too long ago, but it's there. But oh yeah, that Sands End is phenomenal whiskey. So that's why I've been telling people, look, the 12, the Sands End, and the Portsnoy, they're around $60 to $70 respectively. If you can find it in your area, buy it because they're going to mothball the distillery after they spent millions in rebranding and bringing it out of mothballs to produce it and then come up with whiskey of the year to mothball it again. WTF, people. WTF. What's Brown-Forman doing? You can't be hurting for money. And then to think that scotch doesn't sell? Come on. Come on, people. Sorry, don't get me. I'm sorry. Don't want to get started on Brown-Forman. Don't want to get started on Brown-Forman, but that's okay. Let me have some of this here. Okay. Wow, that last little sip was freaking excellent. Holy smokes. That really was good. That little drop was super sweet and smoky. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. It's a great freaking distillery, Sean. It's a great distillery. I am sorry to see it go to sleep. Sorry to see it go to sleep. So that's why as much as it pains me, I have to tell people, you need to be buying this stuff. You need to bunker some of this stuff because it could be 3, 5, 10 years before Brown Forman decides to come to their senses and reopen it because they sunk millions into it to bring it to where it's at. I mean, they got rid of their cooperage. It's like, what? You're cutting off the hand that stuffs the pie hole. Your cooperage? What the heck? I'm sorry. I said I wasn't going to go there. That's one heck of a conversation. But anyway, yeah. Redonkulous. Absolutely redonkulous. But they're doing it. All right. I'm getting another glass here. And since Greg's here and he mentioned other booze, I'm going to pour a little of this 13-2 Octomore. Yes, I am, people. I'm going, oh, shit. Pour that off of there. Here we go. That little thingy-madoozer in there decided it wanted to stick. So let me pour them just a taste. Just a taste. Put the Octomore 13-2 in a glass here. Now, this is the one I already looked at a couple of weeks ago that Greg had sent. But I'm going to pour some in here. But now, see, this is freaking peatier on the nose than the 15-3. And that's a freaking shit ton of peat. This is nowhere near it, but I got peat right off the bat. But it's extremely light. It is extremely light. It's not what you would think. Of course, vanilla sweet bread on the nose. Like a dark fig plum stewed fruit, warm nosing. Compared to what I've had, this shit's peatier. I don't mean shit in a bad way, but it is so much peatier, this Octomore 13-2, than the 14-1 or the 15-3 that I just had. It just comes out that way. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And look at the color. Look at the color on that. Beautiful golden hue. Beautiful golden hue on that. Hey, Alex. Cheers, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you for popping in here. Thank you. And then Bourbon is still driving. Well, no, he may be home now, stuffing his pie hole. Who knows? But yeah, this is beautiful whiskey. Absolutely it is. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I'll do 3 drops in here, but let's go ahead and just put 2 because I don't have much in here. All right, there's 2 drops in there. Let's make it dizzy. Give ADHD whiskey his credit. Let's make it dizzy. Let's do its thing here. You driving and eating wings? You are freaking amazing, Ben. Amazing. I mean, how do you hold them between your toes to shift gears, flash your headlights, and flip off the people that are driving past you? It's amazing. Hey, cheers, man. Yes. Yes, we are. Yes, sir, we are. Okay, 3 drops of water in here. This is the Octomore 13.2. Still got peat on the nose. The 14.1 was very subdued compared to this. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Mm. So let me say thicker and richer. The 13.2. Thicker and richer. Thicker and richer compared to the 14.1 and the 15.1. The sweetness is just rolling back on the finish. The retro hail got the peat. But it's still, to me, mild. Mild to medium. Maybe medium. Maybe medium. But it's great whiskey, and 2 drops of water have kind of just brought some things together. But this is one where I'm going to have to sip it without, add the water, make my notes, and compare and contrast to it. But the 13.2 Octomore is fabulous whiskey. Mm. That is a good analogy. Less filling tastes great. Less filling tastes great. Where's Al Euchre? Oh, that's right. He passed away. Oh, well. But yes. So the 13.2, the 14.1, the 15.3, the 13.2 seems to be more pronounced in the peat, comparing the 3 Octomores I've had tonight. And only reason I'm staring over here is I had Portsnoy to begin with, and I'm like, wow. I think the Portsnoy outdid the Octomore 14.1 and maybe edged out the 15.3 as far as, how do I say this right? Because it's not strength. We know that. And the word I want to use, I don't want to use because I don't want people to take it out of context. The level of peat seems to be stronger in Portsnoy than the 14.1 or the 15.3 Octomore. We know it is not. However, it is more prevalent in the Portsnoy than that because of the way it's done or the way it is introduced into the grain on the Octomore. And it believe me, the level of peat in Portsnoy does nowhere near match Octomore 13.2, 14.1, or 15.3. It doesn't. I'm just saying that in general, it's more pronounced. But it just goes back to the original thing that I've said, that the peat level in some of these whiskeys that I referenced, even though they're far below these Octomores, it just has to do where they get it from, and then the time and that they smoke the grain with. And like I said, these are my words. It's not anything I'm reading or have studied, but I'm just saying from my experiences, it's what I'm getting and what I'm understanding. And I'm trying to make everyone understand how different it is versus what's on the bottle to what I'm actually experiencing right now. So, wow, it's totally just different. It's really different. Like just inhaling and bringing it up to my nose, I get this sweet, burnt caramel, smoked. I don't know how else to describe that, but it was just like, oh, what vanilla, burnt caramel, smoke. And that wasn't like that on the 14.1 or 15.3 Octomore. Really. It's so strange, but yet delicious in its own right. Now the 13.2, I'm going to say this is more full flavored, and I'm searching for my words because I'm not trying. I'm trying to help you and help me help you understand the difference. And it's drastic between the 13.2, the 14.1, and the 15.3. It truthfully is. The distance between the peat, the sweetness, the peat, the sweetness, the peat, the sweetness. When I say peat, the sweetness of the 13.2, the 14.1, and the 15.3. Wow. I wish you all had some of this here that you can experience what I'm experiencing and understand or try to understand what I'm conveying. And I know you got it, but I mean, wow. This is really different. Mm. So my take is the 13.2 seems to be thicker and richer than the 14.1 or even the 15.3 on the palate. On the palate is what I'm referring to as I sip this. Well, I wasn't going to come out and say that like out loud, but since the old fat guy, Greg, actually mentioned it, yes. But there's such a difference, Greg, between this 13.2, the 14.1, and the 15.3. I mean, I'm talking, a distance in that 13.2. I mean, I doubt if Marty's listening, but if he has any of that left, he needs to go back to that 13.2 and compare it with his 14.1, and he'll see what I'm talking about. It's amazing. I may even have to drop him off a sample of this 15.3 so he can go down that line and see what I'm talking about. Because I know he'll end up doing a comparison between A, B, and C if he has any left. And if not, you're going to have to drive over to his house and shoot him some out the frickin' window of the car as you're riding by. But there is a huge damn difference. There really is. Even as I'm sitting here, the viscosity of the 13.2 compared to the 14.1 or the 15.3 is night and day difference. There's more of that burnt caramel vanilla sweetness on the 13.2. It's a heaviness that it has to it compared to the 14.1 or the 15.3. And not that any of them are bad. They're excellent whiskeys, but within themselves, in their own right, they're completely different whiskeys, as far as flavor and complexity, um, and what I'm experiencing, truthfully. And I'm so glad to have this experience. I'm so glad to be able to go back and forth to this like I just did and go, holy smokes, it's night and day difference. 13.2, 15.3, 14.1. It really is. It really is different. It's amazing. And I thank you for that experience, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have this experience or be able to say what I feel or how it is that it's truthfully really, really freaking good. The 13.2. I like them all. Truthfully, I like them all, but I would have to say for all of them that 13.2 pushes out 14.1. Definitely pushes out 14.1, not in a bad way, but if I was putting them in orders in first, second, and third, I would have to put 14.2 in third, the 15.3 in second, and your 13.2 in first. You know, as far as I think everything in that 13.2 ticks the boxes that I like compared to the 15.3. And again, it's not bad whiskey. They're all excellent. But in this quick tasting, what I would like to have in a whiskey, I am finding in the 13.2 Octomore over the 14.1 and the 15.3. Wow. Really? I mean, wow. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to clear this out because my watch is going off, telling me to stand up. You know how that is. They think I'm old and I'm sedentary. Well, you know, Greg. Anyway, but okay. So I've had 13.2 Octomore. I've had 14.1 Octomore. I've had 15.3 Octomore. I have had Glenglassalt to start. What am I going to have for my closing pour? I forgot. Glenlivet Nadira. I've had that. So what the hell haven't I had in a minute? What haven't I had in a minute? What haven't I had in a minute? Okay. How about, since I've talked about Highland Park, how about a Highland Park 18-year high voltage? Not voltage, volume. God, what the hell? What the hell? Here we go. Full volume. Highland Park 18-year. Thanks to Bourbon, who found this in some shithole of a store in New York and knew I'd be looking for something like this. And he has a bottle. And I didn't open it until I opened it with him. So I haven't had this since he and I had it, and it's been a minute. It has been a minute. So let me pour some of this and see how it's done. This is the Highland Park 18 full volume. Sean, if you have any more Highland Park, pull it out. Okay. And this is something that, like I said, he had found in New York for me and dropped off. And I'm so glad he did. And I've got to have a couple more pours out of this thing to do it justice, to get it where it needs to be as far as past the shoulder. So, oh my goodness. Fruit forward. Very much so, fruit forward, citrusy. Bright. I don't remember what he and I talked about on this. It's been a while. Ben, I know you're listening between chicken legs. I'm laughing because I was waiting for you to say something along that line. You go, on it, getting some. Cheers, brother. Love you. That was good. Yeah, it's bright, it's clean. And you know what's funny? The smoke level on this and the 14.1 are close. Even the 15.3 on the nose. I mean, you got to search. You got to search on this Highland Park. Stupid note I just got, but like a bubble gum note on this Highland Park, which I know that isn't true, but that's what I got, people. Oh, hey, I'm not mad at you, brother James. I'm not mad at you, brother James. You pour that. You pour that damn thing in that glass. Call it whatever the hell you want to call it. Oh man. Okay. So this is Highland Park full volume. Really is a nice whiskey. And I'm grateful for Whiskey Uncensored and him going to the slums of New York to find it. But, you know, the man will do most anything for a bottle of whiskey. All right, he'll do anything for a bottle of whiskey. He doesn't care how much or how deprived he is afterwards. Sorry, I just got to say it. Okay, now the sweet bread is coming through. A little citrus. A slight, I mean, I have got to search with all my might for a tad bit of smoke. Okay. Now, see the peat level in this, going back to the 14.1 that Whiskey Nose had sent me. The 14.1 was just a bit more pronounced. However, To me, sipping this Highland Park 18 full volume, it's comparable. And the 14-1, like I said, is over 128 ppm peat level. And this probably isn't 20. I'll give it 20 at tops on the Highland Park full volume. So, wow. Hey, Highland Park, brother. We know what we like. Cheers, man. Appreciate you, Sean, for pouring one for me and with me. Well, if you started off on a high rise, sir, let me tip my hat to you. Thank you very much, Mr. Morgan. I understand about the high rye because I'm a fan of high rye bourbons. That's for damn sure. That's why I like Smoke Wagon. I love that 36% rye in the mash bill. So, absolutely. Oh, that's the problem with shit sometimes. We don't realize what we got until it's gone. And I have had that same damn story, Ben. I couldn't tell you how many times where I go, by the time I got the bottle, opened it, reviewed it, tasted it, and then went back to it and said, shit, this is good. Try to find another bottle. Yeah, that didn't work out so well. There you go, sir. There you go. Osmosis happens. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is a true phenomenon. Absolutely. Mm. But the Highland Park full volume is a much refined whiskey. It is excellent. It's a nice sipper. If you guys find one on the shelf, and I mean it, buy that son of a bitch. If it's under a C note, pick it up. Pick it up. It is a great sipping whiskey. It's a great sharing whiskey amongst people that understand what it is that you're putting out there. I will put that caveat in there because I don't want to say this to sound like, how do I say this? How do I say this right? Okay, it's just not for everybody. You're not going to give it to somebody that doesn't appreciate a whiskey like this, that's not going to understand what you poured and how to experience this whiskey. Bottom line. And not that new Scotch drinkers would not benefit from your knowledge. No, I'm not saying that. However, judge your company. Judge your company and the experience of the people you are with, and maybe end with something like this, an evening of tasting that you might just all of a sudden do because you have the right crowd. But this is an excellent, excellent whiskey. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely, Sean. I don't blame you for that. The twisted tattoo, I have not ever seen that. I know of it, but I've not seen it. But yeah, let me raise this to you, sir, and say, bravo. That's exactly right. You got to find, when you find it and you know it's a good deal, you got to buy it. You got to buy it. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. I'm, I will say this. Highland Park is one of my favorite go-to sippers. It truly is in the Scotch world. It's consistent and consistently good whiskey. It really truthfully is. It has a flavor. It has the the peat. The peat on it is nothing compared to what I've had tonight. However, it holds up well to what I've had tonight. How's that? It holds up well to what I've had tonight. No bullshit. It really has. It really has. My opinion. That's all I can say. My opinion. But what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber who likes to drink some whiskey and bullshit about what I like and don't like. Mm. Well, thank you. I try. But if it wasn't for you guys giving me suggestions on left turns, right turns, continue, yield, hey, like I say, um, I appreciate you all and I appreciate your input and your knowledge, your experiences. I really, really truthfully do. And your insight is valuable, not only to me, but my channel. And so, and I mean this, James, when you're on, when Greg's on, when Sugar Kitty's on, and I'm just throwing some names out there, when JD's on, um, and I know there's many others. I wish I could mention. I'm just throwing out a few there, but I really do appreciate your input. I appreciate your backstories on some stuff and how things come to be and where we are now. Because I don't know some of that because I wasn't there or I wasn't at that point in my whiskey journey to know this. So that's why I appreciate people like you and Greg and JD and Sean and Ben and Eric and all these people that spend the time and that to contribute. And I know I pick on Greg, but Greg is a great supporter of mine and Whiskey Tube in general. And I really mean that. I love these conversations. I love the backstories when it comes to these whiskeys. It's it's what I think separates me. And when I see people pop on that I haven't seen in a minute that come in, like Northwest Bourbon, and contribute to the stream. Paul from Biking Bourbon, um, oak, and agave. I love that. I love to see things like that. That means I'm getting out there. People are getting to know me, and they know that they're welcome to contribute to this stream, into the into the chat, into the conversation. So, truthfully, sir, I appreciate you and what you do. And yes, yes, sir, it's you. Even that small little bit that that small little bit, just like, let me get a little closer so people can see that. There is a space between my thumb and finger there. The top dog knows. He jumps right in and contributes. So it's that important here. All the time. All the time, particularly from you, James, particularly from you. Absolutely. If you want to add ice to your whiskey, you go right ahead. You can ruin your whiskey if you want. It's your whiskey. You drink it how you want to drink it. And I'm damn well not going to argue with your wife. That's for sure. I am not going to argue with your wife. Just like you, I know better. That's for darn sure. Well, you know what, JD? I appreciate you. Honestly. Thank you, sir. Holy shit, look at this. The man, the myth, the legend. Big Vic backyard bullshit. Dude, that is the man, the myth, the legend. I watched him last night. I was lurking in the background. He was going strong, and this is another guy. And I'm not blowing smoke up his ass because I am more than welcome on his channel at any time. But when he's bullshitting about whiskey and he says it's bad or good, I guarantee you it's the truth. Guarantee you it's the truth. There's no bullshit on there. And there's no bullshit on his stream. No bullshit on his stream. So if none of you on there are subscribed to Big Vic, you need to be there and subscribe to Big Vic. Because it's as pub style as you can get. Just come on, let's bullshit. And that's the way it should be. Never any thanks needed, sir. Dude, you're tops with me. So cheers, brother. I appreciate you. God, I love that. And of course, here we go again. Big Vic's link right there. I'm going to hold that up there a few seconds so everybody can see it. And if you're not subscribed, go over there and subscribe to Big Vic's Backyard Bullshit. That's what the BS stands for. And I can just say it out. Bullshit. Because that's what we do. When you're on that stream, you bullshit. And you don't have to be drinking what he's drinking. You could be drinking scotch and he's drinking bourbon. You got something to say about the spirit you're drinking? He's more than welcome to hear you. And I mean that. He's more than welcome to hear you. So always feel free to join his stream because he's pub style. He puts the key up there. You click on, you can join his stream. And there is testimonial. Whiskey Tube does more than most people know. Really does. You need to go back and look at some of the streams that some of these people do and what they do the streams for. They really are. They really are truly good-hearted people. Truly good-hearted people. So, cheers to Big Vic because I know what he has done and what he has contributed to our community. And I've got one of his bottles up here. It's a Still Austin. And he knows it's one of my favorite Texas whiskeys. It was the whiskey that brought me back to Texas whiskey. And he gave that to me knowing, one, that it was one of my favorites, one of my favorite whiskeys. And it was a special pick from the Whiskey Tornado. So love that pick, love that brand, and really appreciate Big Vic. That's for darn sure. I don't know about that. We'll have to ask him. Isn't it always a blast, Vic? Mm. Truthfully, Eric, you are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. People have no idea. There you go. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. Oh my goodness. That really was a good pour. Sean, I'm sure your pour was perfect. Mm. All right. I know I said that was going to be my last pour, but I'm going to go for something else. Going to go for something else here. Hold on. Let me get a sip of water. So where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Let me look up here. Give me just a moment. Mhm. Yeah, give me just a moment looking here. So, this would be good. So, this will be the last pour, but the benefactor of this pour is a 2024 Carchus Ex Bourbon Quarter Cask PX Sherry Finish, coming in at 52.4 ABV. And thank you to a wonderful supporter, Eric, who is the benefactor of this one. And I'm going to pour my last little bit into a glass here. And let me pour that remainder into the glass. I want to make sure I get every drop, because people have no idea about how generous some of my subs are, and the people who support me and want to make sure that I experience some of this stuff, because I just can't get it sometimes. And well, luckily they can. So here we go with a little Lefroy Carchus 2024 at 52.4 ABV right here. Thank you to Eric Gunderson. And I am always appreciative of these things that people drop off here to my house. Well, I will tell you right now, that's simple. Pick one or two. I have here I'm in Las Vegas. So here in Las Vegas, I frequent two places. One's a mom and pop, one's a chain. And I'll mention their name, Liquor Lineup. But I have gotten to know the people there. And of course, they know me. And when certain things pop up because I'm a regular, and I'll be honest with you, I buy some of the stuff that I really don't want, or I could go to a totally different place and save $5 or $6. I'm just using that as a number. Um, I will buy that from them anyway. And they see me, I build relationships, I talk to them. And it's not that I'm asking for anything in particular. It's just that they see me regular and I have open conversations with them, just like I'm having with you right now. And I'm having with other people here on the stream. And we start this dialogue about whiskey. And they know I'm passionate about whiskey. And that starts that connection. And that starts that journey that when a case of uh, George T. Stagg shows up, and it may not be out, but that particular person that you talk to on a regular basis, and I'm not saying you do or you don't share a sample or two with them, that you build that relationship so that when it's there, they let you know. And I'm not saying that happens, but here in Las Vegas, where I'm at, that is one of the things that goes a long way. And I'm fortunate that I have two main places that I go. And I will tell you, if you're ever here in Las Vegas, go to Liquor Lineup, and particularly Liquor Lineup 2 or 3, and they're fair pricing. Yes, you have to Uber off the strip, but they are very fair pricing and they are good individuals there. And then the other one's Total Wine. And believe it or not, they are not like some of those uh, liquor stores that aren't far from the strip that will bend you over a barrel, wrap barbed wire around it before they ram it into you. Trust me. Liquor Lineup on the south end of the strip past Mandalay Bay, they don't do that. I hate going there. However, I was picked a few times for certain things to purchase, but I have to go there. And so they were at retail, or when I say a smidge above, $20 retail. So I got lucky enough to buy a GTS, a Weller Foolproof, things of that nature, just using that as an example. Not because of my relationship, because of my purchases with them. They have rewards. But anyway, so that's how you start to work and build a relationship with a proprietor so that when certain things come in, then when they see you, they may mention it. Does it work all the time? No. Is it a guarantee? I'm sorry. No. However, when they get to know you, they get to know you as a regular customer. They know what you like, and you just talk to them like they're your neighbor. Well, sometimes that works. Sometimes that works. And that's just me just giving you a bit of advice from my end of the world. So, just 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 putting it out there. Just putting it out there. Yeah, this is this is a very good. I love Lefroy. I love Lefroy, and I thank Eric for dropping this stuff off. It's really good. You know what, Sean? You have whatever the hell you want, brother. You've earned it tonight. That's for darn sure. Damn it, Zen Bood, you're never late. You are never late. I don't care. I'm just glad to have you here saying hello. Dude, I appreciate you. That's for damn sure. And I mean that. Really appreciate you. Holy smokes, Carl T. Cheers, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for popping in here. Thank you. Dude, that secondary market is bullshit. But some people have no choice. If they really want it, they have to pay for it. And that's the bad thing. But me, I don't have FOMO. I don't give a rat's ass if I miss out on the next latest and greatest thing. I don't, because if I ask, and I'm not bragging, somebody here has it and will drop it off to me in one of these bottles so I can have a pour and experience it. I mean, there's not everything. I know Vegas is huge, but Vegas doesn't get everything. Some shit just doesn't come out here. But they do come out on the East Coast. They do appear in Chicago. They're out in California. So, we do what we have to do to get shit here. That's for sure. Oh, absolutely. ASMR has got my back. ASMR has got my back. All right, against my odds. Cheers, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for popping in. I'm glad to have you here, sir. Have a good night. Exactly right, Sean. I like what you said. Absolutely. Absolutely correct, Sean. Holy shit. There is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jiggs. Dude, I've been waiting for your ass to show up. Cheers, brother. It's always great to see you here. And I mean it. It's always great to have you here. Damn you, man. Always make me chuckle. Always make me chuckle. Oh my gosh, are you shitting me? Five fingers? Where the hell have you frickin' been, dude? Man, I am so glad you have popped in here. Show your ugly frickin' hand up there. I'm glad to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. And I mean that. Hope you're doing well. Missed you on Scotch Down Under. That's for darn sure. Mm, really. I'm glad to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a frickin' minute. Really haven't. Glad to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. And I mean that. Hope you're doing well. I'll make sure I let Ken know that you're fine. That's for darn sure. Okay. Yeah, that shit don't work here. It's munted. I guarantee it. I guarantee it, Five Fingers. It does not work here. I don't put that shit on my stream because that means I'd have to keep track of it. Yeah, we're not doing here. It's simple. It's easy. It's just doing what you're doing. There's no gambling, there's no slots. Although I did think about that. But yeah, I don't want to have to manage that shit. I just want it to work. Oh God. Exactly, Carl. Exactly. We don't do that shit here. I was on there this morning lurking, and as you know, Ken's dad passed, so he's at his father's house taking care of some business. But anyway, uh, yeah, it's always munted. It's always munted on that stream, but I love it. I love it. I get up and I make sure that I'm there, and even if I'm not actively participating, I'm on Scotch Down Under. That's for darn sure. Love Ken's stream when I have my coffee in the morning. Love to hear it. Are you actually going to pour a Glen Scotia 2024 festival? Well, you know what, JD? I'm proud of you. Getting that shit off the shelves so people like me don't have to experience shit whiskey. Really appreciate you, JD. Exactly. And I guarantee you, St. Bernard's Top Dog has struck and took your ass down. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a minute. When I say a minute, yeah, his dad had passed. So he's taking care of some family business. I'm sorry, Ben. I thought you knew. But yeah. Yep. He has gone. As Ken would say, he is in Valhalla. Oh yeah. Yeah, he got Chris and Lil. Shit. Yeah, they got whacked by a cyclone, but from what I understand, they just got a lot of wind. You have to do it, JD. Someone has got to do it. And see, look, there is someone that's supporting you, JD, that understands they got to get that crap off the shelf. Still a mess, isn't it? Isn't it? Without a doubt. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. Man, Eric, this shit is good. Yes, they did, James. They lost a lot of branches and power lines down there in the land of Oz. But I think they're going to make it. I think they're going to make it without a doubt. I'm confident that Australia is going to pull through. Man, this is a damn good pour. It's like a bull. Hold on. Or no, excuse me. Lafroig. Lafroig. I said Lagavulin. It was a Lafroig. I'm looking for something here. Well, I will show you this. This is a story time, aka Shane Long flight from a bit ago, but it's an E.H. Taylor Batch 11, 129 proof. This was magnificent whiskey. Magnificent whiskey. I mean, damn, Shane, he hooked me up. And this is one of the ones that I'll be damned if I know what it is. It was good, but it's in the pile that I have over here that for some reason the label fell off, whatever the hell it was. I don't know what it is, but I got to pour it in a glass and go, eh. But I have a couple of those here that I couldn't figure it out. And then sometimes things happen and the labels become faded from when people drop things off. And time actually does these well for me figuring out what the heck the label says. And it's not because this particular one leaked. It was maybe the one next to it that did and took out the label. That's okay. That's okay. Now, this one is a rarity. And thanks to Jim and his speakeasy, this is one that was put out in the UK back during the pandemic by Glenn Farkless. It was a 25-year-old, and they called it the London edition, coming in at 50.5 ABV to help the restaurant workers, if I remember correctly. And someone had dropped me off a sample of it, and really, this was good whiskey. This was good whiskey for a good cause at that particular time. So I've got some of this here, and I'm gonna have to pour that and finish that one off. But that's some of the stuff I keep at arm's length right here on my desk. But yeah, I'm so glad to get that because you're not getting that anywhere else but in the UK. So I'm glad to have that and to be able to have that experience. You know what, Carl? I've got about 3 or 4 bottles like that I have no freaking idea what the hell is in there. And I have had at one time because there's, some missing out of it, but I don't know what the hell it is. Damn you, JD. But anyway, people. Well, here we are 3 hours into the stream, a lot of bullshitting, a little bit of whiskey in my glass. And I have just got to say, this has been another amazing stream. I am so glad that you all were here and to listen to me just ramble for a bit about Octomore. And sorry that Livewire isn't on, but hey, it happens. I've done my best. It's almost 7:30 in the evening here in Las Vegas in the US. And I have to say that this has been another amazing stream. I am glad that you all were here. I am glad for the input. I'm glad for everybody that has taken the time to put forth some type of contribution to the stream. And I look forward to seeing you all next week while I end the stream here and just wrap things up, finish this. Yeah, I always tell JD the same damn thing. Same damn thing. And Douglas, really appreciate you. Thank you for participating tonight. James, you know I enjoy you being here, brother. You are like one of the stars. JD, thank you. Really appreciate you. Ben, thank you. Eric, you know, you know I enjoy it. And then you are the benefactor of some of my evening pours. I got the Lafroig up on deck, the cast strength, the 58.6 ABV, the L 2.0. Remember, we had that drop off snafu. Yeah, well, that's on deck to be an evening pour this week. So just wanted to let you know. But really, thank you, Carl. Thank you very much. Honestly, I mean it. I appreciate you all. Greg, God, I know I pick on you to no end, old man, but I really do appreciate you. I thank you for the stuff you drop off here. You know, I'm so thankful that you come out here a couple times a year and you throw this shit at my door, but I am grateful. So I thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you all in about a week. Cheers, everybody. You have a great week. Look forward to seeing you then.